Hi! My name is Alicia and today I will be recreating one of Valfre's dresses. I'll put the picture right over here. I wanted to recreate this dress because first of all it has my name. It is called the Alicia dress, so I thought it would be perfect to recreate it. And also I saw one of my favorite YouTubers, her name is May Yan, and she wore it on one of her Instagram pictures and I thought it was really pretty. So the original fabric used was actually a gold velvet, but when I went to the fabric store I couldn't find any, so I just went with a gray velvet. And honestly, it is the softest fabric ever. So let's get started! First we are going to make a half circle skirt. Make sure the fabric is on fold. The first measurement is your waist measurement divided by pi. And the second measurement is the first measurement plus your desired skirt length. Put the measuring tape at the corner where the fabric is folded and start tracing the first measurement. Oh, and this is my cat. Her name is Minette, which means cat in French, but in a more sophisticated way, I guess. She'll appear a lot in my videos because she likes to bother me. Now repeat the same thing but with the second measurement, but you don't have to make it too long because we are going to add ruffles on the bottom. Next, I am using a rotary cutter to cut the fabric. It makes the cutting process much faster. Make sure to add seam allowance while cutting. For the smaller arc, cut above the line, and for the bigger arc, cut below the line. Unfold the fabric and it will give you a half circle, and this is how it will look. I am cutting the skirt at the center because I wanted to add pockets, but I forgot to do it, so this step is not mandatory. To make the ruffle piece, measure the bottom of the skirt, take that measurement and multiply it by 1.5. Cut 2 rectangles with that length and a 4-inch width. Next, I'm hemming the edges of the rectangle by folding it over once. It will be easier to hem it when it is flat than when it is ruffled. Sew a basting stitch across the other side of the rectangle. A basting stitch uses the longest stitch setting on your machine, and make sure to not backstitch. To create the ruffles, pull on one of the threads and gather the fabric until it fits the skirt. Tie a knot at both ends to make sure that the ruffles don't come undone. Put the ruffles and the skirt right sides together. To make sure the ruffles stay in place while sewing, add multiple pins and pin vertically to the fabric. If your pins are vertical, you can sew over them and it will prevent the fabric from moving. Also, apply pressure with your hand to the ruffles so they stay in place. Don't forget to do this for the other half of the skirt. This is how the ruffles will look. Put the 2 skirt pieces right sides together and sew the sides in about 1/2 inch. And the skirt is done. Now we're going to make the top. Fold the fabric in half and place a long sleeve shirt that fits you well and lower the shirt at its waistline. Trace around the shirt and give 1/2 inch of seam allowance. For curved parts like the neck and armholes, put your finger on the seam, lift the fabric, and put a mark where your finger is. When the shirt is traced, it should look like this. Cut the front piece by following the markings. Because velvet is thick, you might need to cut back and forth with the rotary cutter. Turn the front piece around in order to trace the darts. Darts will make the fabric hug your body and be more form-fitting. The side darts start 1 inch below the armhole, then add a mark 1.5 inches below. Make a 4-inch line starting from the middle of the first 2 markings, then connect them to make a triangle. The bottom darts start 4 inches from the side. Add a marking 1.5 inches to the right. Do the same as the other darts, but these will be 7.5 inches high. Here is a recap of the dart dimensions. Fold the darts in half, pin on the line and sew. Make sure to tie a knot with the threads instead of backstitching. To make the back piece, place the front piece so they have the same length. Trace the back of the same shirt you used for the front piece. Overlay the front piece and mark any changes made from the darts to adjust the back piece. Cut the back piece and make any alterations necessary. I am making the neck hole rounder. Trace the sleeves with the fabric on fold and cut 2 of these. Place the front and back pieces right sides together and sew the shoulder seams. To attach the sleeves, fold them in half to find the middle point. Pin it to the center and to the end. Pin the middle point so that the sleeve is distributed evenly. Usually the armhole should be more curved than this, but it's okay as long as it doesn't look weird when you wear it. Pin vertically so that the fabric stays in place while sewing. Now you can sew the sleeve and top together. While sewing, fold over the darts with them facing down. When you're at the armpit seam, bring your needle down, lift the presser foot, and turn the fabric. Try the skirt with the top and mark where you want the skirt to be. Mark it all around the top and cut it off. Turn the skirt inside out and place the top into the skirt. Align the side seams together, pin and sew along the edge. Flip the sleeve inside out and hem by folding the edge in by 1 inch. Cut out an oval-shaped piece to trace the keyhole and cut it. Make 2 rectangle pieces. The first one will have an 1.5 inch width and a length that's longer than the keyhole circumference. The second one has a 4-inch width and a length that is long enough to go around the neckline and tie a bow with. Mine was about 60 inches. Use the first rectangle as bias tape for the keyhole. Place them right sides together and sew in about 1/2 inch. Cut the excess fabric off. Fold it in over twice to hide the raw edges and sew as close to the edge as possible. It should look like this. Next, take the long rectangle and pin the right side to the inside of the neck hole. Sew in about 1/2 inch. Fold the unsewn part right sides together and sew while making a triangle at the edge. This will be used to make a bow. Stop sewing when you get to the neckline. Cut the excess fabric off and cut the edges diagonally so that the edges will stay sharp. Turn the fabric inside out. You can use scissors or something sharp to flip in the tiny edges. Sew the neckline to the dress by folding in the edge once. Pin and sew as close to the edge as possible. To make sure the fabric is sewn evenly, I suggest to start at the middle of the neckline and sewing all the way to the end of the rectangle strip. This will also top stitch the edge to make it more stable. Once you arrive at the edge, bring your needle down, put the presser foot up, and turn your fabric to sew the triangle. The last step is to zigzag stitch all the remaining raw edges. And Valfre's Alicia dress is complete.